Welcome back to day 17 of Sparks in the Darkness. I always find that Shabbat Chazon is one of the most fascinating elements of the entire 3-week period because it's specifically on this Shabbos in which we are told that there is a semblance, there is a reality that you are allowed to have some sort of signs of mourning. Again, not public ideally, but there are certain things that we do that make the Shabbos feel a little bit sadder, a little bit more like Tisha B'Av is coming. And it's on the topic of sadness that I think it's critical to sort of hone in on a certain reality, and that is that we live in a society that is obsessed with happiness. Some stat that I just saw says that there's probably approximately 20,000 books on Amazon on the topic of happiness. That is unbelievable that we are so obsessed with this happiness that it's almost that we are afraid that if we don't hold on to it, that we will lose it. And amazingly, there are those who are of the opinion that it's actually because of our insecurity of happiness. We're so afraid that we're going to lose the happiness. And so we do whatever we can to cling to it. We always talk about it. We always say that we are a happy culture. The pursuit of happiness is so critical. But the focus and obsession on happiness also in turn makes a person not necessarily able to understand the critical nature of suffering and sadness that is important for human life, because it's all the emotions that go into making a person who they are, and it's not just mindlessly saying, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. Ultimately, the 9 days that we are coming to a close in just a few days is about understanding that suffering is a part of our national history and our national story. And if we can hone in on this and realize that it's part of who we are, and we can understand that it's what makes us the nation that we are because of the fact that we have suffered and struggled over the centuries and millennia, then God willing, we'll be able to be all the richer for it. Hashem should bless us that as we go through these final few days of the 9 days and the entire 3-week period, to lean into the fact that this is a very difficult time for our people. But just because it's difficult, just because it's sad, just because it's about suffering, just because it's about mourning, doesn't mean it's supposed to be terrible. Doesn't mean that we should shun it away. And Hashem should bless us in embracing this time, understanding that it's part of who we are, that ultimately it will help us become the greatest version of ourselves. Wishing everyone a beautiful day.